to start. Everything happened so much. The Hannigram was intense. There was so much Hannigram in this episode. So many! Too many to just react to the, okay, individual things. The meeting scene again for the first time was fantastic. I loved one of my favorite exchanges from the show was that line about how is Chio? She pushed me from a train. Atta girl. That was a great line. Oh, that was good. Then the thing at the end with the, I sort of like knew that was coming because it was a little bit on the preview, but there was a theory on Tumblr for a while, and I wish I could remember what the person's name was because I would tell you, but I couldn't find it again. But she was saying that she thought Hannibal would cut into Will's brain and eat the empathy part, and that like take that out to like free him from, you know, his crazy, and that would be why Will has to seek out his help in the Red Dragon episodes, because he doesn't have his superpower anymore. And so I was like super scared because it looked like that was happening for a second, and I was like, ugh. I don't think I've ever been that like stomach tightening worried watching TV, at least not for a long time. And the saw in the bed. Also, Bedelia being high was great. She did not give a fuck. She was awesome. That was so good. Also, there was the crazy, weirdly shot sex scene with Margot and Alana, which happened kind of abruptly, but I mean, we knew it was coming from promo stuff, but it's still like, they've like spoken to each other in like one other scene before this, but I guess we haven't, you know, she's presumably been there for a while. Stuff happened in the background, I guess, but it was an interesting way of shooting it. It's a little borderline too kooky sometimes, but most of it was like really cool imagery wise. My favorite though was when the white screen and like the black smoke that Will was imagining, like his face and Hannibal's and like their dinner conversations and stuff, and that was really good. What was other things? Chio shot Will, and people are confused, but I'm not that confused. She's protecting Hannibal, and she sees Will as like a threat to him, so she came along to like bodyguard him, and she pushed him off a train in the hopes of discouraging him, and it didn't, so she shot him, and then he didn't die. Well, she shot him because she saw he was getting out a knife and he was gonna stab Hannibal. I mean, maybe she just wants to be the one to kill Hannibal, but I don't think so. I mean, it's hard to say, but I don't think so. Man, eating Will's brain in front of Jack, that's a fucked up thing to do to Jack too, because like that's, given how much effort he has put into like, well, couldn't save anyone else, I guess I can at least try and save Will. To like do that in front of him, that's like majorly fucking him up. That's pretty fucked. But I mean, be Hannibal, you know, because I feel like this episode was just like chock full of cool cinematography though. Like there was a lot of really interesting shots and weird way of doing stuff, and like they opened with like a blood drop in the water, and I'm like, that's a very Hannibal kind of thing. The next episode's gonna be like about Mason a bunch, I think, or like they're combating Mason on his ranch or whatever, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really, like, Mason never struck me as a really frightening villain, I guess, because he's kind of so silly. I guess has captured them, but like they show Hannibal getting out of capture in the promo, so like I'm not as worried as I was when I saw the thing with the saw, and all the things they were saying to each other, and poor Will, he gets pushed off a train and he like limps his way to Hannibal's side, and he's like finally happy a little bit, and then he's like maybe gonna stab him, but then he gets shot, and then he like Hannibal like gets the bullet out of the wound, but then he's like ties Will up and feeds him tasty herbs so that he can eat Will's brain. And I do think he did actually want to eat Will's empathy. I think that's the whole point there, is that like that's the most rare and beautiful dish, is Will's magic empathy power. And so Hannibal wants to eat that, and he was trying, and he was gonna do it, but then he got interrupted. There are probably other things I'm missing, but just the craziness of that end just knocked everything else out of my brain. It was cool how Hannibal was hiding under the table in that one scene. That was a great scene too. God, so much in this episode. Guys, I'm gonna be so sad when this show is over. I'm really worried it's gonna end on a crazy cliffhanger, and that we're just never gonna know. We're just never gonna know what happened. Bye bye, end of season 3. Nobody else picks it up. We just never get to know. But we've still got one more episode of this arc, and then the Red Dragon arc starts, and the Red Dragon sounds like it's gearing up to be a pretty damn cool series of episodes, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, I love this show. Ooh, I bumped it.